The Concerto has already been discontinued. Yup, confirmed by a brand representative. So I guess reviewing this IEM for you guys right now would be pretty useless. Unless Moondrop is working on Concerto 2.0. Which in that case, let's make this video a letter to Moondrop. All of the things I strongly think would make the Concerto better. Number one and most obvious one is this situation. Interchangeable cable. Now I know that since the Concerto uses an XMEM driver, which requires power to drive, the cable needs to be a USB-C. So I understand why Moondrop went with the non-detachable option, because if you use other cables with the Concerto that's not USB-C, probably not gonna work as intended. But I still wish it has a detachable cable for potential cable damages reason. For example, if you damage the cable on this Concerto, you would have to send the Concerto in for replacement or toss it. Whereas if it was detachable, maybe you could buy replacement cable from Moondrop. That would be the better option. Number two, fit and comfort. Now, the Concerto is a pretty small IEM, so it's not a size issue. For me, it's more about the weight. Now, it's not a heavy IEM, it is resin shell after all, but at the same time, it is heavy enough to slowly fall out of my ears over time. I find myself having to adjust the Concerto to keep it perfectly sealed every so often. I feel like this might only be a problem because of this straight down / bullet style cable here, which allows for maximum gravitational influence. So in the version 2.0, it would be nice to have the, the old ear hook. Another thing to mention with fit and comfort is the shell shape. It's not as comfortable for me as Moondrop's other IEMs, which have a more bean-ish kind of shape. So if it's possible, it would be nice for the Concerto to also have that shape. Number three, treble. Yes, we're getting into tuning now. Before we get into the problems, let me explain the general overall tuning of the Concerto. I think the Concerto's tuning from 20 Hz all the way to 3K Hertz is fine. The bass is quite clean, yet thumpy and fun. It could use a bit more dynamics, a bit more definition, but all in all, it's satisfying to listen to. The mid-range, despite the little bit of tuck you see on the graph, doesn't come across thin at all. Vocals are rather smooth and relaxed, and not that they sound full, but they do sound like they have proper natural weight to them. The only real issue I have is in the treble. The Concerto's treble is more emphasized in the mid and upper treble, while the lower treble is reduced. Now, the reduction in lower treble does a couple things. Number one, it makes the vocals sound more relaxed, and some people may like that. It also adds to a sense of separation between the mid-range and treble elements, but the downside to this is that if it's reduced too much, which is the case for the Concerto, vocals can sound rather one-noted and dull. And the upper treble elevation makes the treble details more apparent, and some people may like this kind of signature, but at the same time, in the Concerto, it also introduces this zingy timbre that kind of reminds me of listening to old piezo driver IEMs. Now, it's not nearly as bad as some of those older piezo IEMs can be, but it can still use a bit of taming down. And while we're on the topic of tuning, let's also touch on technical performance, which I don't think is great for the price. It has a slight softness to its attack that makes it sound not as refined or as incisive as I would like for IEMs around $300. What it does do well at though is instrumental separation. Bass, mids, and treble all sound like they have their own pocket in the space. And this has to do mainly with the tuning choice. Cleaner lower mids paired with reduced lower treble creates that sense of space and separation. Number four of the things that would make the Concerto better is more variety in ear tips. The Concerto only comes with the Moondrop stock ear tips, although 6 pairs of them. It doesn't really help much with fit and comfort. If you guys do not know, sometimes you have to tip roll on some IEMs to get the perfect seal. And if you don't own that many IEMs, that means you also probably don't own that many different pairs of ear tips. So if the only IEM you ever bought was the Concerto, or you own very few IEMs, you don't have that many options to fine-tune your fitting. Number 5 might sound a little bit nitpicky, but I'm only saying this because Moondrop has shown in the past that they can achieve this with even cheaper IEMs. And I'm talking about, of course, metal shell. The Concerto's shell is resin, which if you put it side by side with like the Cadence, the Aria 2, or even the Chu, it feels and look a lot less premium. And number 6, this one feels like an oversight from Moondrop, but the Concerto, being that it is USB-C and it does have DSP, doesn't work for some reason with the Moondrop Link app. I don't know why. So I guess with version 2, what I'm asking here is just to make the Concerto work with the app. It would be really nice to be able to EQ the Concerto. And number 7, I almost forgot to do this, but a microphone test. I actually don't know how good the microphone sounds, so let's test it. This is a microphone test for the Moondrop Concerto. Hopefully it sounds good. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this mic quality. And while I have you guys here, might as well tell you guys to like and subscribe for more IEM shenanigans in the future. Don't forget to share this video as well so Moondrop can see it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and bye.